Welcome to Bruins Overtime Live, presented by buyatoyota.com. For offers not seen on TV, visit buyatoyota.com. I'm Dale Arnold, along with Billy Chaffee and Andrew Raycroft. Bruins fall to the Washington Capitals by a final of 3-1 today at the Capital One Center in our nation's capital. Final game of the calendar year. I know a lot of capitals. Way too many capitals. Final game of the calendar year 2024. And I know what the final score says, but the Bruins actually played a pretty good road game.
Even strength. Yeah, 5-on-5 they did. Even 4-on-4. But even strength, they played a really, really good game. They started on time. They had, we'll go over it, but the Protas goal, they got away from their details that moment there, and then it came down to special teams. Otherwise, it was a very good effort. No silver lining, except the reality was it was a good effort.
Yeah, listen, Washington's a great hockey team. This is why they win a lot of 2-1 hockey games. They went 1 for 2 on the power play. You went 0 for 2. I know the power play wasn't good, and we've talked about it, but it was still only 0 for 2. It wasn't like it was 0 for 6 and completely cost them a game. Most of the time, you go 0 for 2 in a game. I know you have issues with the momentum of it and everything, but again, I'm going back to this. It's one of the best hockey teams in the National Hockey League. You went on the road and you lost by a power play goal. It's not that bad. It was good. I don't know. I thought it was good.
The Bruins outshot the Capitals 11-8 in the third period, and they were buzzing for a while there in the third.
Well, later in the third, right? When they picked it up. They needed certain guys, I felt, to get going. Pastrnak, Zach. I thought Pastrnak, 4 shots on goal in the third period alone. He was going. These guys had some great chances around the net under the 10-minute mark or so. Here, Zadorov's looking for a puck-off pad opportunity for a rebound, and Thompson gets it with the blocker and ticks it wide. But otherwise, the Bruins did a really good job of controlling pucks, of getting them. Here's another look at that one. It just goes off the bottom of his blocker there. But otherwise, they did a good job of controlling plays and keeping pucks alive and working, again, at even strength very effectively.
Yeah, they worked extremely hard and, again, created a lot of chaos in front, not just in the third, but in the second as well. And, it was a tip shot. It was a screen shot away from finding its way. It wasn't meant to be today.
If you're into the analytics, if you're looking at natural stat trick, 13-10 high danger chances in favor of the Bruins. They had a higher, they had a 60% overall chance rate versus the Caps. So again, if you're into the number thing and you're looking and say that's a good trend, you got to be happy with what, except for the result, as you said.
Logan Thompson is now 15-2-2 as well. Played very strongly, especially there in the third period. And
he's extremely confident. And when you're confident, those pucks find ways to hit you. He's also 6'4", 220. He's a long, big guy who's right now holes aren't getting exposed. And he's feeling very confident. He feels like he's $1 million, and he's playing like it, and things are going his way right now.
All right, we'll get to the single biggest negative for the Bruins this afternoon. As Andrew said, they didn't go 0 for 6 or 0 for 7 on the power play. They went 0 for 2, but they really didn't have anything generated from it at all.
No, they maybe one. And by the way, and I know that this shouldn't matter, but these are also 2 marginal calls at best, meaning they really got fortunate guys that they got on these power plays and they couldn't capitalize. I think that's what bummed me out the most, Razor, is that you're like, all right, hey, listen, makes things happen here. And then the Bruins didn't handle the puck that well. They end up keeping to the outside. You can start to see some frustration at the end. This was a good entry. This was one of the best, one of the nice entries. They get the puck in and they get an opportunity, but then the puck doesn't get all the way to the front of the net. I know you said Razor, and we'll talk more on Morning Brews. We recorded after this. I would just like at times a little more simplification of things on the power play with the top guys.
Yeah, and they switched things around today, and that never, it always makes it a little harder to have some cohesiveness. So, again, I get it. It's easy to go to this, but I think at the end of the day, if the nights where they're 0 for 6, it's just a lot easier, more of an issue than a 0 for 2 against a pretty good hockey team.
Well, the Bruins did start this game on time. They had a 1-0 lead on a Justin Brazeau goal in the first period, but it was Aliaksei Protas who ended up tying things up in the first for Washington.
He did, and the Bruins, like you said, had a great start, and it was just a small little detail. Brick talked about it on the broadcast where they just didn't close out quite well enough here, and it's Carlo and Lowry. They have an opportunity to get the puck, both Kastelic and Carlo, and then it's a quick play. And Swayman, I talked about him reaching just a little bit on the pass. He gets just outside of his zone, but he can't move off of his post. A good goal, but one that you can look at and find a couple areas to move it a little quicker.
Yeah, just even protecting right there, the sticks up in the air on the spin move, and then Protas he's in that high danger area right in front of the net open. Big man, hard to miss, but the Bruins don't close on him quickly, and he gets the shot off super quick. I mean, the guy's having a career season.
Yeah. Bruins were 0 for 2, as we already showed you on the power play. Washington was 1 for 2 with the man advantage. Jakob Chychrun got the power play goal that proved to be the game winner in the first period.
Yeah, he had a nice game, too. I mean, he's going to score the goal, which ended up being the game winner, but he really, I said this in the pregame, he's impressed the heck out of me this year, whether it's different system, different players around him, contract year, whatever, or all of the above. The way that he's moving, the way how involved he is, are giving him this great opportunity, fellas, to be a mainstay. He ended up 21 minutes. He was a +2. He had 8 attempts, 4 of them on net, 2 blocks. This shot he's going to get. You can see that the Bruins are overplaying the pass to the top for the Karlsson potential one-timer. And that leads to the lane being wide open. And you've got to give credit to Jakob Chychrun. He walks into it and rips it upstairs past the glove of Swayman.
Great shot. This is exactly what the Ottawa Senators, thought they were going to get from Jakob Chychrun when they made the big deal for him out of Arizona. That's what the league thought. Didn't get it in Ottawa, but he's proving his worth here. And it's amazing how great players are when they're contract years.
Star of the game presented by Subaru of New England. Fall in love with a brand new Subaru, and Jakob Chychrun was our star of the game. He had that game-winning goal that you saw there. And if you take a look at this, goals by defensemen this season, he's now tied with Zach Werenski and Cale Makar, 2 pretty good defensemen in their own right, by the way, for most goals.
2 guys that make $9.5 million. Well, I don't remember. Werenski might be a little less than that. Montour's up around 8. Sergachev's over 8. Quinn Hughes is over 9. Will Jakob Chychrun get over $9 million a year?
He might.
He's going on a nice vacation for 4 nations.
Yes,
he's moved up to the 4 seasons. He's not staying at
2 seasons.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.